Alright, so in this problem, this is 810, this is the next video, so I'm doing, which one did I do? Oh, I am doing number 15 for you, so this is number 15, let me write that really quickly, number 15. So I want to decide, is negative 11 fifths greater than, less than, or equal to negative 4 fifths? So over here, guys, you can see I drew my number line, right? There it is. There is 0 for me. And anything that I wrote in blue is positive, right? So it's above the 0. Anything that's negative, I wrote in red, and it's below the 0. So in this case here, I want to I find negative 4 fifths. So, here was 1 fifth, 2 fifths. There's negative 1 fifth, negative 2 fifths, negative 3, negative 4 fifths, negative 5 fifths, which, by the by, that's equal to negative 1, right? And then I come down here, right? Negative 6 fifths, 7 fifths, 8 fifths, 9 fifths, 10 fifths, 11 fifths. Okay, so I can tell here that the closer, right, that I am, so in this case here, right, anything that's above another number is bigger than that other number, right? So 0 is greater than negative 1 fifths, and 1 fifth is greater than 0, and 2 fifths is greater than 1 fifth. Therefore, negative 1 fifth is greater than negative 4 fifths, right? This would be like owing somebody 20 cents, and this would be like owing somebody $1. So I have more money if I owe somebody 20 cents than if I owe somebody $1. So you can see here, any number above is greater. Well, negative 4 fifths is greater than negative 11 fifths because it is above it when I order them on my vertical number line here. Therefore, I know the answer to this problem here, right, is negative 4 fifths is greater than, so I need the mouth to be pointing towards the bigger number. So this is open, right, to the bigger number. So I know that negative 11 fifths is less than negative 4 fifths. Or another way to say that, right, is negative 4 fifths is greater than negative 11 fifths. Okay? So for your question on your homework, I think what I'll ask you is, how can I tell if if I draw a vertical number line, how can I tell if a number is greater than another? And the answer is if the number is above. Whichever number is above the other, that one is the number that is greater. So once again, you knew that 0, right, is greater than negative 1 fifth. And you know that 1 fifth is greater than 0. Sure enough, 1 fifth is above 0. Sure enough, 0 is above 1 fifth. That has to be true of any number then when I put them on a vertical number line. And negative 4 fifths is above negative 11 fifths. Therefore, I know negative 4 fifths is the larger number. Okay? All right, there you go. That is the end of this one. So we'll move on to the next one. All right, so I'm going to do number 21 now. So I have negative 1/4, negative 1/5, negative 1/3, and I'm going to decide, I want to put them in order from least to greatest. All right, so the easiest thing to do, I think, is to find a common denominator. So I have my negative 1/4. So I'm simply going to multiply it by this guy, and that's going to give me my common denominator. So I'll take this one here, and I'm going to multiply it by 5 over 5, and I'm going to multiply it by 3 over 3, and that gives me, negative 15 over 60. All right, I'll come back to this one. All right, so now I'm going to take the other one, which is, let's see here, negative 1/5, and I'm going to multiply negative 1/5 by the 4 and the 3, the other two, and then, of course, I'll have, as you'll see in 1 second, I'll multiply this by 4 over 4, end this by 3 over 3, right? And you can see that I end up with, right, you know, this is 3 times 4 times 5. This is 3 times 4 times 5, right? They're just reordered, and of course when I multiply, that doesn't change the answer. So let's go ahead and, this gives me a, you know, multiplying my numerator, I get negative 12, and then 5 times 4, right? 5 times 4, that gives me 20. 20 times 3, of course, that gives me 60. So there's my other number. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and take my 1/3. So let's go ahead and do that one. So I have negative 1/3, and then of course I'm going to multiply that by my 4 over 4 and my 4 over 5, and that's going to give me a 3, a 4, and a 5 in my denominator. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to multiply it by 4 over 4, and then by 5 over 5, and of course that gives me negative 1 times 4 is negative 4, negative 4 times 5 is negative 20 over, and 3 times 4 is 12, 12 times 5 is 60 as well. So now I have my 3 numbers, they're 0, and so I'm going to go ahead and order them from least to greatest. So I look here, and I see I have negative 12 over 60. So if I made these all, let's come over here, let me grab another color, let me do green or something. So if I, made each of these a, if I said that this was negative 1 over 60, right, and I went on and on and on and on, right, then I would have here, I'd have a negative 12, right, over 60. Then underneath that, I'd have a negative 15 over 60. And then finally, way down here, I'd have a negative 20 over 60. Okay, and just like we said before, right, we know that 0 is greater than negative 160. 1/60th because it is, 0 is above it, right? And we know 1/3 is greater than 0 because 1/3 is above it. So I'm going to look at where they fall here, right? So I get my negative 12. So I know my negative 12 over 60 is the greatest of the 3 numbers because it's above them all. So I'm going to come and look at the smallest one. Well, the smallest one here is negative 20 over 60, right? So they're going to come in, the order of these are going to be here. So I'm going to end up with, let's see here, where can I fit this? Negative 20 over 60 is the smallest, right? And then the next one is negative 15 over 60, right? And then the next one is negative 12 over 60. Okay? And if I look over here, guys, and I see, right, that negative 20 over 60 is negative 1/3, right? And then that means that negative 1/3, right, is the smallest of these numbers. So let's go ahead and just write the equivalents over here. I have negative, this is negative 1/3, right? 15 over 60 is negative 1/4, so let me go ahead and make that. So this is negative 1/4. And then if I come over here, right, I can see that negative 12 over 60 is negative 1/5. So let's go ahead and write that over here. Negative 1/5, right? So they go up in order, right? So I see that, this, that's not what I wanted. That this, right, is this is equal to that is equal to that. So if I put them in order, it'd be the smallest is negative 1/3, and then I go up. The next one is negative 1/4, and then this one's bigger than that one. It's negative 1/5. All right, so that's the end of the video. I need to just draw something very quickly here, so I'm going to say in a pretty color, blue is your secret word for extra credit, and the question I'll probably ask you is, how did we go about comparing the fractions? And the answer to that is we found a common denominator. Alrighty, guys, that's it. Have fun. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.